Welcome to another episode of Big Al's Big Tips.
Hello, everybody. It's Big Al with some more content for War of Nova. So, today I am going to do a guide on EmberHelm, who to me is the Frodo of War of Nova. And by that meaning, all free to play players need EmberHelm. He's an easy ship to get, very friendly. When you talk about Lord of the Rings Rise to War comparison, he's more like a Gandalf the Grey but without White Council, and he has more DPS. This guide is going to be it's going to be kind of from where we sit in the game as we know it now. We've done testing on this for PvE, not PvP yet. So this seems to be the way to build them, and we've had much success. So we want to pass this on to our friends that are just joining the game. I want to give credit to Hank and Cato for this guide. They both helped create it. So let's get started. Okay, EmberHelm right here. As you can see, he's listed as an assault craft. He's a sovereign stoner. Here's his stats. Okay, let's talk about his tech tree first. He can be used at respect 0, mastery 0, as it's called in this game. Recommended for mastery 3, but let's get started. The most important part of him is his heals. So on your bottom are tier 1 abilities, okay? You have forward shields, and this is damage received from close range strikecraft. Okay, so it's a little bit specific. It's only from close range strikecraft. Okay, but that's still good. It's a damage reduction. We'll go to the top sub skill, allied strikecraft. So that means all kinds of strikecraft that you're using recovers 30% hit points for the first 5 instances of damage taken. And that's because I have it at level 5. So it's 6% per point you have in there. On the bottom is repair drone. One allied unit recovers 60% hit points, and this triggers on 3, 6, and 9. And you get 10% per point. Well, as we have seen it, Hank has done a lot of testing with this, and I have too, and I agree with his build. There's a sweet spot, and the sweet spot is getting 5 points in each of these. And when we say the sweet spot, that means there's not going to be any diminishing returns. You're not overdoing the healing or anything like that. Because, for example, when you have a Mars Zero, you're pretty much running all heals. Okay? Well, you're missing out on damage. Yeah, you're healing, but you're not dealing enough damage to really matter because you're giving the enemy time to keep hitting you. So, as long as you have some decent officers, 5 is the sweet spot. If you're a little bit smaller, just starting out, 7 is probably that sweet spot. Next, we go into the R3, which is frontal assault. Against 2 enemy targets, deals 300% energy damage. Okay, important energy damage. Prioritizes close range, and it triggers 3, 6, and 9. The max level gives you plus 15. The next skill would be Lucky Shot. Against 2 enemy targets, deals 200% standard damage and 50% chance to deal an additional 200% standard damage. And that's in every other round, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So those are the skills that you're going to want to focus on first. After that, you could probably go into a couple into these. Capital Ship, standard damage, and then, which one was it? The Armor Break. Against 1 enemy target, deals 20%, 26% energy damage, and defense is minus 3% for 1 round. So, what I'm doing currently is, because I'm kind of in the middle, I'm mostly free to play. I did spend a couple bucks, but I'm going to put these skills all at 6. I've already got the R3 maxed out, but I started here with 5 in all of these, maxed these two out. Now I'm putting these to 6, and then after that, I'm going to go here and then into armor break. I'm not necessarily going to max them out. I'm just going to do one here, one there, one here, one there. So, and the reason for this is when you're doing your officers, you can do both. You're going to want to do um, power, ship power. Come on, sorry. Ship power, ship elemental for the energy damage. Okay, and you're going to want the officers that give you both. Unit defense also helps. And let's go to the next officer. As you can see, I have the ship power, unit damage close, initiative. Initiative is king in this game, so if you can help your initiative, that is good as well. And then here is another one. Power, elemental, initiative, defense, close range strike craft. Okay, you can use a lot of different officers uh, on this ship, which is great. Obviously, I don't have any supports yet, but same thing there. You're going to want ship power, unit defense, things like that. It is very, very good at PvE. Okay. Now, let's talk about Strikecraft. Now, this is a single stack ship, meaning, sorry for that slight technical difficulty, but what I was talking about was the Strikecraft. It is going to be a solo stacking ship. So you're only going to want to put one one ship type, aircraft on it. Okay, and here are the recommended. You have the Warhammer. You want a heavy ship because it is highest health, highest defense. It also has decent damage. But this one is a heavy close range. Its skill gives you a minus damage received. Another recommended ship is the Morning Star. As you can see, even higher health, higher defense. It's a heavy, close range. It has the damage received, but it also has this skill. First 3 rounds, self defense plus 275, and take all damage from standard attacks on behalf of allies. So this is your Swan Knight for Rise to War. Another one is the Ogrox. You come down here into the Bay 3 is the Chimera. Close range heavy, good defense, good health, and it also has the damage reduction stat. The other one is the Ograx Cyclops. This one, as you can see, health, defense, heavy, close range. It's got the damage reduction, but it also has this opening taunt for the first 3 rounds. 55% chance each round to make the enemy battle group's standard attacks only attack this unit. So this is going to be like the Mountain Trolls. And even the logo is a lot similar. So that should help you to remember. So those are the 4 recommended. They are heavy spacecraft, high defense, high health. And for PvP, theoretically, you're going to build the same. We have not gotten into the PvP section of this game yet, but theoretically, you're going to use the same setup. It is going to be vulnerable to those enemy spacecrafts that have stun or confusion, anti-heal, things like that. You can overcome some of that with the different officers if you can find the officers that give those chances for some crowd control, some extra heal, things like that. So, we've talked about the ship, we've talked about the skills, we've talked about which strike craft to use, and I apologize, I am getting used to the different terminology. But to me, like I said, EmberHelm is my Frodo. It is a must have for free to play players. Let me show you a couple reports I have. I'm hitting 200s and I'm getting, look, I lost one strike craft here. I wasn't full when I hit this 200. Let's go down, show you another couple other reports. I have this 1030 tile. or 230 tile. See, as you can see, I lost one strike craft on the draw. Finished that army. I draw it on the second. Just lost one more because uh, the heavy units count as say 4, where small crafts count for 1 in a supply. Heavies count as 4, so you'll get 25 per 100. So it's a lot bigger ship, and we dealt with that with Rise to War with the small, medium, and large units. Same thing here. So you have small, medium, and heavies. So there's some of those reports. As you can see, very little losses. Don't be afraid to test it out with a couple of extra different skills or whatever. But like I said, if you have some decent commanders, sweet spot is probably 5 points in each of these. You can go to 7 if you don't really have the good commanders, and that's okay. And like I said, I put it to 5, max these two out. Now I'm going to go to 6 in each of these. Then I'm going to go and work my way up and get some of this armor break for the minus defense, which will just help with my damage. So that's my video on EmberHelm. Thank you again, Hank, for this. I will try to get more of these out as we come up with the guides. I hope to have more Rise to War comparisons to make it easier. So EmberHelm acts kind of like Gandalf the Grey, just without White Council, but it does have some damage reduction and it has the heals. So that's the video. As always, make the most out of what you got.